unfortunately I do, and I have to admit that I was one of those people who was considering staying home because I did not want my message to be conflated with a message that I may or may not take the stance on. However, my union sent out a message asking for us to show up on that side, and so I changed my position and I said I have to be here because my union is promoting the stuff that I personally take a stance against, and I have to show my support. I have to be here today.
Alexa Lavoie reporting for Ribbon News, and I'm currently in Montreal for the second 1 million March for Children. This demonstration is supposed to take place in major cities across the nation. However, since the war between Palestine and Israel has been declared, some people have decided to cancel on their side the event and to postpone to a later date. But today we assisted to a grassroots group who came here anyway. Those people have decided to voice their discontent about the indoctrination of children in schools. The protesters are advocating for the elimination of the sexual orientation and gender identity SOGI curriculum, pronoun, gender ideology, and mixed bathroom in schools. Again, it's important to mention that this is against indoctrination of children and nothing else. If you do like to get involved, please visit stopclassroomgrooming.com and sign our petition to make your voice heard in support of stopping this indoctrination. And I remind you that we cannot cover this kind of protest without our security. So if you want, make a donation to offset our security expense. Thanks.
Laissez nos enfants tranquilles, parce que les enfants ils sont vraiment innocents pour décider tellement des choses comme ça. Les enfants ils n'ont pas l'âge de décider des choses comme ça.
As a parent of a child, I do not want ideologies in the classroom. Facts, science, math, religion insofar as teaching about religion, but ideologies do not belong in the classroom because they are individual. Also because as a child, I would have been a prime target to be transitioned. As a child, I was a tomboy. I have social issues. I didn't have a lot of friends. I played sports. I would have been told if I was a child today that I was a boy. But I am a woman. I am a happily married woman with a daughter, and I was able to breastfeed my daughter because I was allowed to keep my breasts. That's a big issue for me.
You have every right to believe in gender identity. You have every right to identify as trans, non-binary, cisgender. For sure, those people have the same dignity as any other human being. I'm all for human rights. But school is about teaching. Queer ideology or gender ideology, gender theory, gender cult, call that whatever you want. It's a postmodern ideology.
We are just have a message that the kids is not appropriate. They are not in the appropriate age for this stuff of material. While the children or while the kids in maybe China or Japan, they are studying the quantum physics. We are pushing our children here in Canada just to get into confusing subject like the ideologies of the identity or the sexuality or this not appropriate material for a kids 4 years old.
Bien, parce que j'ai des jumeaux de 16 ans et je suis témoin au quotidien de ce qu'on leur pousse dans le fond de la gorge à l'école. Une chance, mes enfants sont éveillés puis ils adhèrent pas à ça. Mais ce qu'on me rapporte, ça a juste comme pas d'allure.
They're trying to push them to change their gender. They're trying to push them for different ideology. They don't respect them as they are. We are coming from different culture. We protect, we accept everybody. So why I'm wondering why they don't want to accept us as we are. If a boy or a girl wants to be himself, let him be himself. Don't push him. Don't try to force him to do what you want, what you think is right, because this is not right. Try to accept others, try to accept their differences, because this is how we live together.
C'est important pour moi pour protéger ma fille. Là, on est en train de vivre de l'endoctrinement, ça c'est pas autre chose que ça, et ça va à l'encontre de mes convictions.
They go to schools to learn English, French, science, math. This is how they will build this country, not with learning gender ideology.
Right now, the government is trying to indoctrinate and manipulate our children at a very young age, and they think that the younger, the better, which is absolutely insane to me. And many of the parents who are here today and at the last march, I was at the last march as well, feel the same way, that it's going downhill and it's getting worse and worse.
Since the last 1 million of March for Children, did you witness any differences?
Actually, with the government, they raise up the issue as a hatred. Okay, and this is somehow not the truth. The 1 million march was for children.
I'm positive most of people have no problem with trans people or non-binary people. We're all for human rights. People start protesting when you want to impose some beliefs on them.
I'm aware of the Angus Reid poll that says that there is a greater acceptance than we are being led to believe, who wish to be allowed to teach our children certain things at home as we see fit. School is very important, and there definitely needs to be regulations on what's taught in school. I don't want my daughter to be missing out on any math of any kind, but this is something that can be taught at home based on family values.
They understand more what happened around them, because a lot of parents didn't know about it. That's what I thought, but we didn't feel any changes from politicians. Like we done nothing. It's like they do not hear us yet, but we have to keep moving.
Les impacts, chaque fois qu'il y a un avis dissonant, il y a un impact. Donc il faut vivre avec, c'est une constante. Il faut juste maintenir ses positions. C'est très simple. Moi, j'ai ma conviction. La Charte des droits et libertés me permet justement de reconnaître des droits et de les faire valoir.
Well, honestly, not really if you mean the bad side. No. But I have seen people who were like supporting from those acquaintances, people here and there, teachers, whatever. So there are people who are supporting, and I think this is common sense, this is normal.
There were a lot more people last March that I did notice, maybe because today is a rainy day and people didn't want to come out in the rain. But I do know that the large majority of parents agree with our side. There was a poll made in Canada, and 56% of Canadians agree that this should not be taught in schools. So definitely our side is the majority, and non-binary / trans people only account for 0.2% of the population. They keep yelling and saying we have to make them comfortable, so somehow they have to shove down my children's throat, trans, homo, like non-stop, when they account for 0.2% of the population. Yet what about all the other kids?
We can witness really a few people today. We know that some people have canceled because of the fight, the war between Palestine and Israel. Do you think that this will have an impact on media to show how few people are present today?
That's a point related to a lot of issues in the world. As you mentioned, that there is a war between Gaza, and we see what's happening in Gaza, and how children in Gaza, the children is abused everywhere. You know, this is abuse for the children, even in Gaza, even here in Canada, all over the world. This message not just related to Canada, it's related to all over the world. The number of people today is not representing that the number is decreasing, but it's representing that the case or the problem, not the problem, the case for protecting our children will continue, and the parents who are caring or concerning with the children is not stopping. They are not well stopping. It's not certainly mean that I have to attend physically here in the place just to show you that I protect myself or protect my children. I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of colleagues, a lot of teammates. They have the same concern, they have the same issue, but with the different objective that they have, or with the different problem that we have nowadays. They don't have
They can't come today, that's it. La guerre, elle a influencé peut-être parce qu'il y a encore une manifestation demain, donc je ne sais pas, ou bien le climat, je ne sais pas. C'est sûr qu'il y en a des causes qui ont empêché le monde de venir, mais c'est bizarre.
C'est eux qui ont fait peur au monde. On a su qu'ils étaient pour empêcher le monde de sortir du métro, au métro Frontenac ou Papineau. Fait qu'ils ont tellement mis de pression. Eux autres là, sont préparés depuis des semaines, ils ont passé des pamphlets. Fait qu'il y a des gens qui ont eu peur, puis la température. Mais il ne faut pas s'arrêter à ça.
Alors, les médias, les fake médias, disons, ils ont l'habitude d'utiliser la moindre chose pour disqualifier les gens. Donc ça, on a l'habitude, mais ça ne change rien dans notre combat. Quand quelqu'un a une posture, il la maintient. On va essayer d'utiliser les faibles personnes pour faire un amalgame. Mais la vérité n'a qu'un son, il n'y a que le mensonge qu'on invente.
Of course, this would be a reason for the presence of a few people today, but this doesn't mean that those who are not present do not support the cause. I'm pretty sure many people do support the cause, and maybe if there's another march, they will be there.
I mean, the media likes to twist everything, as we all know. The media is king of misinformation and twisting things to manipulate people to think certain things. We most definitely saw it during COVID. All they have to do is post certain things and the masses believe it instead of doing their own research. I think the biggest problem in our society nowadays is misinformation and people not taking the time to do their own research to actually see for themselves what the facts are.
Yes, of course. We understand that this is something it will not get changed like tomorrow. We need to understand that it will take maybe months, maybe years, but we're here every day until they understand our message.
Unfortunately, I do, and I have to admit that I was one of those people who was considering staying home because I did not want my message to be conflated with a message that I may or may not take the stance on. However, my union sent out a message asking for us to show up on that side. And so I changed my position and I said I have to be here because my union is promoting the stuff that I personally take a stance against, and I have to show my support. I have to be here today.
Can I ask you which union you're with?
My union is the Dawson Teachers Union. They are a sub-union of the FNEC, the Fédération Nationale Enseignante de Québec. And yes, they sent out a message asking people to be on that other side there today. And their policy is that because FNEC is pro-LGBT, that is consistent with that position. I would argue that I am pro-LGBT. I am just anti-ideologies in schools.
Do you think it's a problem to have all the union taking a side, a political side on this, and should be just like focusing on children?
The union should be trying to stick as close to their mandates as possible. I am aware of certain positions that my union has that I'm not able to change. To just make a less controversial example, it's the environmental causes. They are very, very anti-climate change or pro-climate change. They want to have more of our money going to fund things that are not scientifically based. And I've always been accepting of it. Not necessarily okay with it, but I understand that that's part of what a union does. But yes, unions should be working to help improve workers' rights and the situation for children. So I believe that's why they're over there today. They believe that what we are over here talking about is against children being children. But as my sign says, no child is born in the wrong body. Every child is born perfect the way that they are. No scalpels, no drugs required.
Your sign is Remember Me, Chris billboard that actually travel across Canada to show this kind of sign. Where did you take your idea?
I got my idea from Billboard, Chris. Thank you so much, Chris, for what you do. You go around the country and you educate people with calm, rational, common sense. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
When we arrived on the ground, we witnessed the police arresting a counter-protester. The reason is unknown, but it appears to have been for preventive measure, possibly due to the individual carrying an excessive amount of item for attending the protest. If you believe that we need to stop grooming children and indoctrinate children in school, go and sign our petition at stopclassroomgrooming.com. Make your voice heard, share it, and sign it. Thanks.